Hello, welcome to my channel, Save Infinity. In this video, I just wanted to quickly discuss the importance of the LGBTQT community. Or we can just call it the gay community for short. Whatever you like to go by. There's so many different names to refer to it. But just generally talking about how like the gay community is so important as part of not only like spiritual awakening and stuff for society, but also just part of like God's divine plan like for humanity and such like that. I feel like so often the connotations with like from religion and stuff, the idea of God and stuff is that like the gay community is like against God's plans, or not the way how things nature intended, or all those things that, and some opinions that people have and like to put out there. But from messages and guidance that I've gotten is that it's essentially like all like divinely orchestrated. There are no mistakes in that instance. People are who they are for a reason. And I feel the importance of the gay community holds like so many strong importances for our society and growth as a species, in the way of just like recognizing who and what we truly innately are. We are so much more than just our biological genders, like so much more than the genitals between our legs is essentially like the whole idea of that we do all have masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. And I feel like the gay community like is such a perfect example of highlighting that wonderful aspect of fluidity within each and every single human being. And just the energetic yin yang type nature just of life itself. I feel like in time periods throughout history, like it's not like the gay community is a new thing or anything, we've kind of dipped in and out throughout history of how accepted or non-accepted it's been, but it's always just been an innate part of our human nature. So many ancient cultures and stuff were very, very openly accepting of such things. Like I feel like accepting is even such a silly word, because that still makes it seem like an other thing that you're accepting, when it just is. It just is, like it's just as much as part of life as anything else. Really helps highlight from like the traditional type times throughout periods of history where it's was only encouraged for typical gender specific male female type relationships, really kind of close-minded people off, especially in the very strong patriarchal sense of control and domination as well, of those real kind of strict gender roles, and just how that isn't really how nature and humanity really operates at its core, and how we really are so much more multidimensional and faceted than those type of old archaic views really allow for. It really does like highlight the, our inner nature of like our souls, being like these energetic beings without any gender. And I feel like it really helps bring in those sort of connotations and things like that, and things of different past lives we've all had where we have been different genders and what have you. Just because you may be a male or a female, in this life doesn't mean that's what you've always been or what your soul has always been. And so I feel like the gay community is so important in reflecting and shining that truth out to the world. And, I feel like it also just brings such the strong message too of like the core of, the message of God, and life being about, like love and fun. And so showing all those multifaceted ways of how love can express itself in our world is so important to really be able to honor the whole aspect of God and nature and the reality that we find ourselves in and what have you. You know, and I feel like it's also such a strong like message as well for really tapping into who you are at a core, especially throughout, you know, periods of history where it was a lot more discriminated against to be part of like the gay community. You know, and so for those like brave souls that really still stuck to their true nature and just shined their true nature out into the world, no matter how much backlash they were getting, is really just such like a strong like, you know, sense of guidance for the rest of the world of how you can just be who you are no matter what that is, and to like be brave enough to do that. You know, I feel like the gay community really has been like a strong warrior of light in that aspect for the rest of humanity, especially in certain periods of you know, darker periods of history where we've really needed that light and love shined back out into the world to really get us back to our true nature of what love truly is and truly means, and who we truly are as humans and as multifaceted beings and souls. You know, and I feel like also a strong point towards as well, you know, not only being brave enough to be yourself, but to listen to yourself over others. You know, the whole idea of not always just listening and following the rules or the opinions or mindsets of what, you know, society or authoritative type figures or what have you are telling you what the way things should be, but instead finding that inner voice and following the inner voice of what feels right for you. And I feel like the gay community is such a great example of, you know, of doing that, and really shining a light for the rest of the world to be able to feel like they can do that as well. And so, yeah, I just feel like, you know, so often there's a lot of people with those sort of opinions where they try to, you know, make out like it's against God or something like that to be gay. But really, I feel like it's all part of God's plan to, you know, kind of like another little safety net of not allowing us to fall into complete darkness and complete, you know, dominating control of certain mindsets and opinions that we're all just like these sad robotic figures, you know, some dystopian nightmare. You know, it really is like all part of, you know, God's plan and one of God's like secret weapons to really like help us continue to shine and be who we are and embrace who we are, and, you know, embrace the multifacetedness of humanity and our communities and everyone within it. And so, you know, I honestly don't believe, you know, people are out there, as they say, you know, some people try to make out like choosing to be gay or what have you. You know, I feel like that really is just all a natural design as part of, you know, the greater cosmos and universe, to allow that multifacetedness of nature to shine through. You know, if you didn't have people wanting to do that innately from their true heart and true selves, then we wouldn't have that multifaceted beauty that is so often found in the, you know, in the magic of nature. You know, kind of like we don't just want one species of flower everywhere on the planet, right? Because that would be a bit boring and not much variety. And I feel like it's, you know, the same with the human species and with sexuality and you know, and all those sort of things. Is really, you know, it is meant to be multifaceted. We are meant to be multifaceted, and we're all just meant to, like, you know, shine that little bright light of who we are, no matter how that looks, and not feeling like we need to be, you know, ostracized or criticized for doing such a thing, because that bright light of who we truly are is coming from God. That like is source energy, that is source connection, you know, that is the grander plan of the cosmos and the universe shining from out within us into our reality to bring that beauty, you know, that magical rainbow beauty into our societies, of how much, you know, of how beautiful and unique we all truly are as individuals. So yeah, you know, like, not only does God love the gay community, like God created the gay community, like God, like it is God, you know, like God consciousness and the energy itself is infinite and multifaceted and everything, you know, male, you know, masculine type energy, feminine type energy, you know, merged together, and all the facets of, you know, of everything, like that is all a swirl of, like, you know, God energy. So to try to discriminate or ostracize against things like that is discriminating and ostracizing against God itself and against nature itself, which really is like the biggest crime of all, right? Because that is everything. That is yourself as well. So, you know, to not accept or embrace those sort of things is not accepting and embracing the true nature of yourself, of humanity, of nature, and of God, and of the greater universe and cosmos. So yeah, just you know, just a quick little video just to get out there how how the LGBQT gay community really is like all part of God's plan. You know, it all is divinely orchestrated and just wonderful and magical the way it's meant to be. All right, guys, I'll leave that one there for today. Hope you have a lovely, wonderful day, and sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always.